Today we're going to go to historic Angel Mounds, just off the Ohio River outside of Evansville, in between Evansville and Newburgh. And we'll take a look and see what we got. This site is the Palisade Middle Mississippi Indian Village, occupied around 15 AD. So we'll see what we can get. We'll first go into the interpretive center and see what we got. Maybe a little noise. It's spring break and we got our grandkids with us. Here we can see different arrowheads and look at some figurines here, man. Look how small and detailed they are. We'll work around here. Trying to stop the glare. It looks like you see some pottery here and then different tools. As you can see here, this is looking at the Ohio River, and we follow through, and you got the Angel Mounds, and each one of these little dots are just villages or mounds that they know or have found. So then we get down in here, all the way down the Ohio River. Here we got a representative of a dugout canoe that they have. Can you imagine the amount of time that took to carve that out with stone? These are some fish hooks made out of bones and some gorges made from bone also. These here are different arrows and spears that they use to hunt with and fish with. You can see some of the stone points down at the bottom. Back when this was a major city, places like this water would be a major food source for them. And I don't know if I can show it, but there are still turtles down there today.
Kids.
This main mound right out here in the center was the big one, and there's multiple mounds around. The thing about it is it talks about how all these structures were laid out according to the cosmos of the night sky. So some of them are lined up with the Milky Way, and others are lined up with how the moon sets in alignments during different seasons. So this used to have around 400 acres, a wall made out of logs and this mud on it to protect the city and act as a fortress. So you can see there's a small mound behind me, another mound right over here, and then we go back over here. There you can see the wall and the visitor center. So it's got about 1.25 mile pathway. Right over there's another mound. We're working our way over here to the central mound, which is the tallest mound, and most likely had a big building at the top, and that's where either the leader lived with a platform. So if you look at this here, they got kind of laid out how the place looked back then as being a main trading center. And this was also the center of where they did sports and other gatherings. This is the main mound that's right over here, and you see we're right next to the Ohio River. When you look at the size of these mounds, and these are not massive compared to others that are in the United States, but just think how long and how many buckets of dirt it took to build these things up, and the amount of size. So when we look at this sign here, it talks about how these mounds were aligned, and we're looking at in front mound F, and the mound A is back here in the back, and they're lined up with the different sunrise, when the moon set. Mound A, the biggest one, is estimated that it took 67,000 cubic yards of earth to build. It has a multi-flat top pyramid and a conical mound on the corner. If you want to know more, you can look at the QR code right there. So we're on top of Mound A, and you can see the commanding view that a person had up here, looking back over towards Mound F and the other ones. And then there's the visitor center. Here we're looking the other way off of it and see out across where the village was. And the other mountain way back over there. This peak right here on top is where they think that the house of the leader was on. And then directly behind that, because it's spring and leaves ain't come out, you can actually see the Ohio River. So Angel Mounds was big around 1250 AD, the peak of population they estimate. And then by the time it got around to about 1400 AD, most of the people left and had gone on down, they think, closer to the Wabash, mouth of Wabash and Wabash River area. They think it's because these people stayed, and with their crops and corn, they depleted the ground and wasn't growing as good, so they had to find another place. So that's what they think happened to this city, and why the population dropped off. It is really hard to capture on this camera how big this site really is. And it's a small one, but it's a pretty good size site for the day. So that pretty well wrap it up for us at the Old Folks Adventures and Angel Mounds. If you like what you've seen, check out our website at oldfolksadventures.com and subscribe to the channel and give us a like. Until next time, later.